As more countries and companies look for carbon-free goods, South Africa's coal-based economy could lose billions of dollars in export income and thousands of jobs. This is according to a net zero tracker watchdog. The country's economy is at risk because it depends too much on coal. With coal accounting for about 80% of its electrical generation, the most industrialized nation in Africa is also one of the world's worst pollutants. This makes South Africa uniquely vulnerable. The reason? Nations are penalizing carbon-intensive imports and businesses are decarbonizing their supply chains. This is according to a group which is a partnership of 4 non-profit firms that monitor net zero commitments. The group's report said, and I quote, 78% of South Africa's exports worth $135 billion are traded with 139 jurisdictions which have net zero targets in place. The report added, collectively, these exports support over 1.2 million domestic jobs. The non-profit firms consortium said South Africa could lose some of that trade and related jobs if the country fails to decarbonize its supply chains. But the group says South Africa can sidestep this problem if it positioned itself as a strategic supplier in low-emission value chains and phased out coal faster. Net Zero Tracker Project lead John Lang said, and I quote, South Africa has the tools to pivot proven renewables potential, critical minerals and seats at global tables. One of the driving forces behind the decarbonization push is the European Union's carbon border adjustment mechanisms. The policy, which was put in place in 2022, adds a carbon price on goods like steel, aluminium and cement that come from countries with lower environmental standards. A test period began in October 2023 and the law is set to be the rule for good in 2026. The South African Reserve Bank has warned that exports could drop by as much as 10%. That is according to carbon-based taxes. By 2030, CBAMs or CBAMs alone could cut exports to the EU by 4%. And for the latest, our correspondent Kalden Ongmu reports from Johannesburg.
South Africa relies on coal for about 4/5 of its electricity generation and thus has the most carbon-intensive economy among the group of 20 major economies. Net Zero Tracker has revealed that the country's basic metal sector, which accounted for almost 1/3 of its exports in 2023, has nearly twice the embodied carbon dioxide emissions of its next most carbon-intensive peer country. And if carbon border adjustment mechanisms expand beyond raw materials, as the researchers expect, other industries will also be at risk. South Africa's automotive sector has the second highest emissions in the world, and its agricultural producers create 3 times the emissions of some peer countries, the researchers have found. Net Zero Tracker has urged South Africa to take advantage of its $8.3 billion climate finance pact with some of the world's richest nations. The Just Energy Transition Partnership, signed in 2021 between South Africa and other countries, including France and Germany, is designed to provide concessional funding to reduce South Africa's reliance on coal. This is Kalden Ongmu from Johannesburg, South Africa for WION World is One.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.